Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got the exciting blend once again because we had some technical issues last week. So we're gonna try this. Blend again. Hopefully this time around we won't run into any technical problems. So I've been excited to try this blend for a second time. Last week I did finish it. It was so delicious that I had to come back and try it again because it deserved a better platform than what it got. So once again, I'll be doing Mango Goddess, and let me tell you, my thirst for this tea has not changed. Hey Sneha, welcome. Hey Ma, welcome. I have been smelling this tea for the past 15 minutes. And let me tell you, it's so good. I didn't get a chance to really talk much about it last week, so this week we're gonna dive deep into it. So let's go right into it. So we've got half fermented oolong, green tea, mango flavoring, pink rosebuds, and Roman chamomile. So let's talk about half fermented oolong for a second. What that means is usually that it's been aged a little bit, and so we have. It's not as old as a pu'er, or I believe pu'ers have to be about 5 years old in order to be considered pu'ers. So this is possibly aged maybe 2.5 to 3 years, and usually you don't ferment for a pu'er also. You don't ferment oolong tea, you ferment the black tea. And that's what gives it a dark flavor. But in this case, it looks like we're going through the oolong method. And it looks like it's more on the Chinese rather than Taiwanese oolong. So let's take a look at the leaf itself. You'll see it's a dark leaf. It's against my head, it looks a little bit light brown. That's what makes it an oolong and not a black tea, because black teas are further oxidized. They're going to be more earthy, more able to stand up to stronger temperatures. This one is more on the lighter side, so it's going to have it's going to have like a lighter taste, a more flowery vegetal on the vegetal side, rather than the dark black tea flavor. I'm trying to remember. Muscatel. It's not going to have that muscatel flavor. You'll have more of the vegetal flowery side to it. Also, because this is an oolong, it's going to be semi-caffeinated, not too strong. Hey, Zam, welcome. The caffeine content isn't going to be too strong. It's not going to be as oxidized as a black tea, so it's going to be more on the moderate side. So you'll have a good, what is it called? A good balance for it. So, if we take a look at the blend itself, you'll see, let me open it up a little bit. There we go. So, you can see there's multiple colors on there. There's like lots of light tans and browns. There's little flecks of yellow in there. You'll find that mostly is no, it's not the chamomile. What else is there? It's the pink rosebuds. Let me see if I can. Oh, right here. Ah, my hands, my fingers. Oh, I dropped one. But we got giant rosebud pieces right here. Ooh, it smells so nice. And there's chunks of there's like I saw a chunk of something in this blend in this one that I actually pulled that I actually steeped. So you know what? Let's take. I get any of this in my tea before I drink it. So we got some interesting pieces. No, that's the stem. Here we go. Ooh, that is a lovely piece. Look at this. So it looks like this is a piece of green tea that is fully out. It's like one long leaf. Let me see if I can open it up a little bit. Because you actually don't find green tea like this. Normally, this is like a white tea, where it's just a bud. It came from somewhere. That's interesting because I don't see anything that would like resemble. Like if this is the green tea, they use a really, really young leaf. And I can see like it's wrapped up. I can't quite get it open. I need to find something that's more cooperative. Unless this is like the pink rosebud, which I doubt because rosebuds are usually they're usually just bulbous. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, it looks like a piece of green tea, but a very, very young leaf. Let's see if it behaves and stays open for you guys. So that is a really nice bright green. And if it has been oxidized at all, it's been very lightly oxidized. So we're going to have a more silky flavor with that green tea. It's going to be on the sweeter end, not as vegetal as like a gunpowder or a pilo chun, something like that. That's more, it tastes more like grass. These kinds of leaves are more on the softer, fragrant, perfumey side. So it's gonna be very soft flavor. Well, that all being said, let's go ahead and take our first sip. Oh, that's nice. Oh, wait. Got to describe the liqueur first. So it looks like it's nice and clear. There's very little sediment on the bottom. It's all still settling, though. Yeah, and all I can smell is mango. Like, the mango presence is pretty heavy on this one. So let's go ahead and take our first sip. Oh, that's very nice. Hey, Pops, welcome. This is the kind of flavor that really kind of wakes me up. I can taste this as of the mango content. It makes it sweet. It's a little bit on the earthy side. As an oolong, it's pretty nice. It's more on the side of a Chinese oolong than a Taiwanese oolong, and I'm getting a strong flavor of not just mango, but like the earthiness of a Chinese oolong. I steeped this at about 190 degrees. What does it say to do it on here? 195, yeah. Infused for 3 minutes at 195. I did it about 190 for 3 minutes, and it's coming out really nice and fragrant. It's a little bit on the bold end, but it's really nice. I love the way that it just kind of like liquidates over my palate. It's hard to describe because like it's not just the mango flavor and the earthiness, but there's also a kind of like a slight what's the word? Kind of like a coppery metallic, a little bit salty too. Very, very slightly salty, but it's more on the back end than anything. It's very like there's a kind of perfuminess to it that I'm getting when I breathe out. It's a little bit like I can smell my breath as I speak, and it's pretty nice. The sweetness is getting the sweetness, it dissipates a little quickly, and it leaves behind a nice earthy overall tone. Really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Ooh. Oh, it's starting to drain my sinuses a little bit. I hate when that happens during my streams because it's like a little distracting. Oof, it's always a risk when you do live TV. Like it's kind of like oof, my God, something's going on with my sinuses. I don't know, man. Woo. It's clearing up, whatever it is. I think because the fragrance is so strong that it's fighting through a lot of buildup, and I'm getting like a circular kind of effect from like the heat and the fragrance. It's like I'm tasting it in my nose quite a bit too. Yeah, you see it, right? Like you see as I breathe. It's I mean, my nose isn't leaking. It's like you can hear it. But whatever the effect is called, it's like I can feel it right here. Oh, if you have like a sinus headache, recommend something like this. Am I still like? I keep getting a message that it's rebooting. And it's making me nervous. I assume I'm still streaming pretty steadily, pretty smoothly, because it's still giving me like an error notice, but it's not as bad as it was last week. Let me know in the comments. Not in the comments, in the the comments. How it's going, because I don't want to like mess up like we did last week. There's something in this tea that's very, very scented, very floral. Like it might be the rosebuds, but it's kind of like a little bit. It's a little bit forceful as I breathe out. And that's usually what I get from a floral effect. I don't know, it's interesting. Like I can feel my insides just kind of like trying to drain harder, if that makes sense. Oh. Anyway, yeah, it's so weird. It's kind of like, I know this might sound a little cheesy, but it's kind of like taking my breath away a little bit. Like as I drink, it like the scent it flows, and I'm feeling like. I feel like I'm breathing through like a Vicks Vapor Rub kind of thing. It's nice, but whatever it is, like I'm having some sort of like midway drainage going on. I don't know. It's really strange. Is the dog upstairs? I'm hearing footsteps upstairs, or Oh, maybe my producers, both of my producers are probably upstairs now for some reason. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Now I'm breathing again. I guess that's a good thing. Well, breathing is always a good thing. But let's go ahead and try out the Thomas taste and see how that goes. Whoa. I hope it's my producers that are upstairs, because that might be a little bit bothersome if it's like a ghost or something. Somebody say something, just make sure I'm still running, But let's go ahead and take the Thomas taste and see if I can find something out there. Oh, there you are. Thanks, Naya. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so when I do the Thomas taste, it goes from sweet to floral really, really quickly. I'm getting a little, as I breathe, in and out now. Like there's a slight astringency in there. That's kind of like on the perfumey side. Oh, so that was Suki. Good. It wasn't a ghost. I'm glad for that. I'm getting like a kind of really, it's a little bit bitter. I guess because it cooled down a bit and there's more of a floral presence. A bitterness is kind of par for the course with certain kinds of floral teas. And this one, it's a little bit bitter. It's a little bit astringent. As it cools down, it's just moving more towards that end of the spectrum. It's noticeable, but it's not strong. At least not to me. For those of you who have a sensitivity to bitterness, you might want to sweeten this up a little bit. But if you don't mind it like I do, it's pretty good. Oh, that's really nice. Okay, so I'm going to open up the floor. Questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, now is the time. I'm going to answer Teresa's question as I always do. What would I pair this with? So, being that this is a very sweet tea, I would do this as like a kind of a dessert thing. Right now, as it stands, I'm getting more floral notes than sweet and fruity. So I would probably, let me see, what can I pair this with? I would say something extra sweet, like maybe a vanilla ice cream or a nothing like maybe strawberry ice cream would be good. Would be good with this. Nothing that's on like a really strong fudge ice cream might be a little overpowering. But for this one, would I ice this? Oh, absolutely. I would totally ice this, and I would sweeten it because I just like sweet iced tea. I don't always if I do brew an iced tea and keep it unsweetened. It's usually an herbal tea that's packed with fruits. I would stay to that end rather than something that actually has tea leaves in it. I tend to sweeten those depending on which tea it is. Because normally, when it comes to iced tea, I like it cool, refreshing, something that's like pure sweet, no bitter. When it's hot, I can handle the bitter, the astringency better. So yeah, I would absolutely ice this. As a matter of fact, I did ice it last week when I wasn't able to finish it on stream, so I finished it with dinner. I just put a bunch of ice in it, some sugar, and it was perfect. Oh, all that's still draining. Oh, I hate it when that happens on camera. Oh, anyway. Ooh, sorry. Oh, it's still, everything is like in the back of my head. Ooh. Oh, that astringency is starting to get a little bit strong. I'm getting like more on the floral end. It's very perfumey, very fragrant. Oh yeah, I know. Oh, I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking that you'd rather drink it either sweetened or super hot before the astringency hits. Because I know what you. Yeah, I would. I feel the same way. Like right now, the astringency is getting stronger as it cools down, and that does happen a lot of the time with certain teas. You get a kind of flavor reveal. Why would it become astringent as it cools? It's not the tea becoming astringent. It's more it's more your tongue becoming sensitive to it. As I've mentioned before, hotter teas tend to bring out the more savory flavors, the smokiness, the muscatel, that end of the spectrum. But as it cools, it tends to sweeten up, and your taste buds are more receptive to sweet and more receptive to bitter. It just opens up a wider extension of what's already in there. So in this case, like the astringency has always been there from the start. I just wasn't able to taste it as strongly because of the temperature itself. So that's why, like, for me, it's like a very black and white ordeal when it comes to tea. You'll either want to drink it hot and fast or cold and slow. Because it's not going to like your palate's not going to change from the beginning as much, if that makes sense. Ooh, everything is still draining right now. Oof. I don't know, maybe it's just allergies and whatever it is, this is starting to just like reveal what was already there. Ooh. There it goes. Ooh. Ooh, I hate it when that happens. Anyway, questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, now's the time. I'm opening up the floor once again. I don't have any further announcements at the moment. I mean, there is something that's coming up that's going to be kind of a big deal for me. What was this? In like this tea? What do you mean? In what? I'm not sure what you're asking. Ooh. Oh, everything. Oh my god, this is so weird. Oh, in milk? I mean, you could, but I would recommend not, simply because the mango that's in there, it'll probably, because it's an acidic fruit, it might make the milk curdle. I don't generally care about that, but some people do, so it's like a texture thing or a visual thing. It doesn't make it as visually appetizing. Be warned, you might see some curdles in there. Ooh. Oh my god, like all of it's just coming out. Ooh. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. Thank you all for joining me in this part 2, the sequel version of Mango Goddess. I will be posting the link in the description after everything is after everything is there. So keep an eye out for it if you'd like to try it for yourself. And until next time, have a great night, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye.